Here we have a fantastically uncommon, sealed FireWire zip drive from the year 2000. I just hope you're not a collector. If you're a zip drive enthusiast, avert your eyes because I couldn't find any information on this critter and I gotta crack it open. And it is unique because Iomega, they never made a FireWire zip drive, so Archos took it upon themselves to do something about that. Oh, there might be a FireWire card in here. Neat. Inside this 25-year-old box, we have a mailing thingy, a manual install guide, one FireNoodle 400, a Mac-formatted ZIP 250 disk, a driver CD from 1999, one FireZip drive made in France, and no FireWire card. Oh, I'm not a vintage hardware enthusiast, so I didn't pick this up because it's rare. Nay, I picked it up because of this. A 2.4 megabyte per second transfer rate. You see, zip drives were slow, with parallel reaching 0.8 megabytes per second, USB 1 at 0.9 megabytes per second, and SCSI at the top with a whopping 1.4 megabytes per second, meaning a transfer rate of 2.4 megabytes per second would make this the fastest ZIP 250 drive in the world. And this cable could pull it off, because in a world of 12 megabit per second USB 1.1, it could do a whopping 400. But is this just an IDE or SCSI drive with some type of moon converter? We'll find out in a bit. But first, how do you FireWire in 2026? PCI Express FireWire cards. I like the ones from StarTech and IOCrest because they're the same card. This one's cheaper. But that gets you two FireWire 800 ports, plus the one we need, 400. Let's go stab a motherboard. Behold, my retro test bench. It's an AMD 5600G, and look at that. Vintage DDR4. But yeah, we are going to be living in the future, so into the PCI Express buy one slot you go. And thanks to Linux, there's no drivers to worry about. Speaking of things we don't need to worry about, power adapters. This FireNoodle can sling 45 watts, and that's overkill for powering a zip drive. Let's just hope whatever's in this Adaptatron doesn't go pop. All right, time to apply the electrons for the first time in 25 years and see what happens. Well, no magic smoke, but we do get a nifty green light, but when we visit the file manager, no drive. Let's crack open a terminal and check with LSPCI. There's the FireWire card, but no zip drive. So I guess it's time to break out the old knowledge and install FireWire utilities so we can scan the FireWire bus. And look at that. The Archos FireZip has arisen from its eternal slumber. Now comes the part where things can go fantastically wrong. This 25-year-old drive is about to spin this 25-year-old disk at 2,941 revolutions per minute. Or at least that's the plan. Either way, it's going to make for some interesting ASMR. Here we go. Oh, that sounds haunted. I don't remember them being so shut. Oh, look at that. Can it read a Mac formatted zip disk from 1999? Yup. What do we have under the hood? Oh, HFS. Cool story, bro. Now I'm going to format this using ext4, then see how fast this critter really is. Here we go. Boop. We're now transferring 119 megabytes of data from the FireZip at, wait for it, oh ho ho, 2.1 megabytes per second. Look at that. And listen to that noise. That's either nostalgia or nightmare fuel, depending on who you ask. Now for an egregious misapplication of judgment, a speed test with KDisk mark. While 1.5 reads and 1.6 writes seems absolutely glacial, in 2026, that's still faster than the SCSI ZIP 250. Okay, time for the eject sequence. Oh, it jumped a little bit. We all know there's a full-size drive in here, but is it IDE or SCSI? Either way, it looks like step one is voiding this warranty sticker, then popping off this wobbly bit at the back of the drive. And this thin plastic fills my fingers with worry. Wiggle, wiggle, YOLO. And there we go. Yeah, that's ATAPI. Ah, jumpers. I don't miss these at all. Not much to the Convertatron. a hole for the Fire Noodle on one side, plus some data and power pins on the other. And these weren't terribly uncommon adapters. Back in the day, you typically see them for hard drives, but I was genuinely expecting a SCSI drive. Now you might be wondering how Archos managed to build the fastest ZIP 250 drive on the market, yet never bothered putting it on their webpage. Now while it might look delightfully retro in 2026, no self-respecting Mac user would have been seen with this on their desk in 2000. A cheap plastic case wrapped around a full-size drive? Ew. But that's not what killed it. This was a FireWire adapter for the new USB 2 version of the ZIP 250 that came out just a few months later. And on top of that, CDR drives were getting cheap, and high-capacity thumb drives were right around the corner. But it's still pretty cool that we were able to read a 25-year-old Mac-formatted zip disk over FireWire in 2026. Linux is good like that. Also, if you know anything about these drives, please let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And if you watched this far, thank you. Maybe consider tapping that like button. It really helps the channel. But that's going to do it for this one. So get out there and make something awesome.